Hello, we're sitting at the very top of the beach at St Andrews. It's a really dull day, totally overcast, that really horrible grey, flat, uninteresting clouds, and as soon as we get to St Andrews, hallelujah, the sun comes out. How perfect. It's like there's just a big hole in the sky directly above us, and the sun is pouring through it. This is they call this the East Sands. There's two beaches at St Andrews. I actually refer to them as the North and South, this one being at the north, on the north coast, just on what's called the Eden Estuary, which is a beautiful name for an estuary, because that's the Eden Valley, which then goes and works its way up to the hill at Tayport, Spears Hill, where we walked Buddy up the hill. And this is to say, I call this the North Beach. There's also the South Beach St Andrews. It's not quite South Beach Miami. However, there is an ice cream kiosk, which kind of sort of, raises the bar a little bit. No strip joints though. I could do with a couple of strip joints down at South Beach. Maybe not. But it's beautiful here. And I've done something that I don't normally do when I come out on these little soirees. I've brought a packed lunch. Normally I always have something to eat before I come out, because I'm usually only out for a couple of hours. But today I thought, to hell with it. I'm going to make me a packed lunch. So I've got a couple of rolls, crusty French rolls with cheese. The secret to a good sandwich is balance. It's not the ingredients. Well, obviously, a chocolate fish sandwich might not be to everybody's taste, but I see the guys in the work who bring in their cheese sandwiches, and I think there's this sort of, they've got this like mantra that a cheese sandwich has to look like you could wheel chalk a 747 with it. You know, it's like whoomph. This big golden brick on this 2 wafer thin slices of bread. So we're man, you eat big thick cheese. Oh, this is great. I don't know why I used an American accent there. But the secret to any good sandwich is balance. And I've got a cheese and onion sandwich, thinly sliced mature cheddar, thinly sliced red onion, little slather of mayonnaise, pepper, very important, butter, organic butter, on a nice crusty roll. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into them. But now normally I would just bring a bottle of water, because water is very good for you. I don't drink diet or any kind of fizzy drinks. I mean, there's what, 12 spoonfuls of sugar in a can of Coke, and if you want to take the sugar out, you have to sweeten it somehow. So what do they use? Aspartame, which causes retinal degeneration. Bear that in mind next time you open a can of diet or whatever. Apparently US fighter pilots are forbidden from drinking any diet sodas because of that fact. It makes your eyes go funny. Degenerates your retinas. But anyway, I've got a flask. I don't normally bring one of these, or use one of these. In fact, it's a long time since I've used this. In fact, I used to use this in work with a kind of a juice, and I used to use it to keep it cool. But there is something about flask tea. It's a flavour all into. Even if I use the exact same quantity of ingredients or constituents, i.e. ratio of sugar to milk to tea to water, that I do in the house when I'm making a cup of tea there, the exact same combination of ingredients in a flask will always taste different. It tastes like flask tea. No matter, in fact, it doesn't really matter what you do. You know, how many spoonfuls of sugar, how many tea bags, how much milk. It always tastes exactly the same. It tastes like flask tea. I can smell it. It's that. When I was coming into St Andrews in the Land Rover, which is one of those cars that's it's really good if you want to enjoy your surrounding environment, because it lets it all in. There's, hang on, close the front, this door here. I can actually get my hand through the door seals on the driver's door. So, as I say, you do get to experience what's around you. And we went past the field with the yellow crop that they have here in the UK, oilseed rape or rapeseed oil. I'm not sure what you call it or how it's meant to be referred to. and the smell just came wafting in because there's air coming in from the numerous gaps in the door. Plus also I keep the passenger door open for Buddy. He sticks his head out and just obviously gets all the smells. And it was a wonderful, rich, sweet, almost sickly perfume that was coming off these crops. And it triggered memories, just as the flask tea is doing. This is triggering memories of countless cups of tea that I had when me, my mum and my dad would go, look at that, look at the colour of that. You know, we would go sightseeing for a day somewhere. My dad would make a flask. And it smells exactly the same now as it did then. And I thought, wouldn't it really be a good idea, or a really clever invention? Now I want responses on this, people, because I want to hear your ideas here. But I thought, we've got devices, I'm talking to one right now, that record images and sound. We've got cameras, we've got microphones. But wouldn't it be really cool if we had a device that could record smells? An AROMARA. A smellatron. Because you know that if you say, for example, you're on holiday and you walk through, I don't know, the gardens of a country house somewhere, or a chateau in France or something, and you walk through the rose garden and there's this wonderful smell, and then a couple of years later or whatever, you walk past a similar combination of plants. You maybe don't realise it, but you get that smell and it just triggers that memory, that lovely memory, just as the flask tea is doing right now. I'm just going to taste it. Just that. Oh, that's just, it just doesn't change. You know how you get instant tea, instant lemon tea, or just instant tea? Someone should really come up with flask tea, a flavour flask tea. You know, maybe just spoonfuls of something that tasted like flask tea. That would sell. I'm sure that would sell. And if it does, you heard it here first. These videos are dated. So, flask tea, BradThunder. Yeah, so I thought, wouldn't it really be cool if we could have a device that recorded smells? Was able to replicate the particles that were in the air, store it electronically, and then when you were watching it back, you'd plug it via probably a USB connector into this little thing. You know those vaporizers you get and you put oils on them and they heat a little plate and it smells your house? Well, you know, you could get one of these that's maybe got like a selection of oils, of universal type oils, and you plug it in and the camera sends this signal and it selects the oils and it goes when you're watching your video of the rose garden or the... Oh, there's a... That noise is an RAF tornado. Just across the Eden Estuary is RAF Lookers, and there's a tornado on the runway. They're taking off away from me, which means the engines are kind of pointing this way. So that guy's just lit his afterburners and is rolling. There he goes, rolling down the runway. It's like somebody's just opened the gates of hell, hasn't it? Isn't it, I should say. What a noise. Yeah, so, you know, you're watching your thing, the rose garden or the beach or the sea, you know, that lovely salty smell, and this little thing's going pss, pss, sending up little clouds of vapour into the air so that you actually get the full-on experience. Well, at least 3 of the 5 sensations. That would just leave touch and taste. But then, well, unless you were eating the flowers or drinking the seawater, I don't suppose it would really be that important. I've got that just perfect. 2 tea bags, 3 teaspoonfuls of sugar, and 4 squirts of milk, because technically there's about 4 of these in there. Wonderful. So it's, well, the hole's kind of moved over a wee bit, so we've kind of gone into, it's not bright sunshine, but it's beautiful. You can just see the sunlight on the water over there. It's lovely. There's me and another car here. Fantastic. We're right at the very, very top. Couldn't get any further before we hit sand dunes, which I would dearly love to do, but I don't think I'd be allowed to. So yeah, so there we go. There's my I think that would be a great invention. That's my idea for a great invention. A device that either plugs into your camera or sits along with your camera, or maybe as a standalone device that records an aroma in a particular area. That, and we've got microwaves that agitate the particles in water to heat things up. Can't somebody come up with something that maybe slows them down? A low frequency, because microwaves are very, very high frequency, aren't they? maybe a low frequency thing, a subsonic thing, or I don't know. Not ultrasonic, isn't it? What's the word? Infrasonic. Infrasound. That slows the particles down and cools, rapid cools. You know, you stick a bottle of beer in there that you've just bought from the store. 10 seconds, beep, beep, beep. Ice cold beer. Or even, you know, freezes water ultra quick. That would be cool. Literally. So that's my two ideas for inventions: an AROMARA and an ultra cooler, ultra fast cooler. So if you guys have got any ideas, I want to hear them. Things that, not things that are lifesavers, but just things that would be really handy to have around the home. Women are probably thinking, what about an extra wide toilet? Toilet bowl and an automatic seat lowering device. It stays up for like 2 minutes, and then if you're not done, boy, you better get out of the way quickly. Boom. So there you go. Let me hear your ideas. What would be a really neat invention? Cheers, my dears. It was actually 3, wasn't it? Instant flask flavoured tea.